everybody. This is Liztino, or you can just call me Angel. I will respond for you. Liztino Center for Children with Special Needs in a collaboration with GTV Sports Plus. Today, we are at Shai Hills, and we want to know a little more about this center or this resource center. And then it's all about young Phil, the autistic boy, the boy who is doing massively well, who is just communicating with people that there is hope for their children. Phil is coming to ride from Adenta to Shai Hills here. We want to know a little more. And please, the viewers, don't just watch it, share it. And please, take your bike and let's come. There's a hill. That hill is you that I want to climb with. Say, good day.
Good afternoon, madam.
As we already said, today we are at Shai Hills.
Yeah.
Shai Hills. Oh, it's about the mountain hills and whatever. Please, introduce yourself and tell us a little about Shai Hills.
Okay. So you are welcome to Shai Hills Resource Reserve. My name is Prince Ananiaji, the manager in charge of the Resource Reserve. The Shai Hills Resource Reserve is one of the protected areas managed by the Wildlife Division of the Forestry Commission. It is situated on the Tema-Akosomo main road, about 20 kilometers from Tema. The Resource Reserve is 51 kilometer square in size, but it is endowed with a lot of ecotourism potentials. When you visit the Resource Reserve, we have animals that are in the cage. We have zebras, we have ostriches, we have the Museum of Natural Culture. Aside that, we have animals like duikers, baboons that are also in the reserve. On top of it all, we have historic or what we call cultural sites, which have 5 different mountains or hills that we have in the reserve. One is the Mogo Hill, one is the Ajuku Hill, one is the Sayu Cave or Sayu Hill, the Hewayo, and then rest. So basically, the reserve is endowed with a lot of ecotourism potentials that we entreat everybody who want to have a feel of nature and come close to nature to visit Shai Hills Resource Reserve.
Thank you, sir. As we can hear him, trust me, I won't come and mention anything that you will second that one. So at least you heard him. For the hills, sir, which one are we climbing together?
Okay, so we are climbing the Mogo Hill together. The Mogo Hill, that is where our friend, our child who is advocating for autistic children is climbing. So we are climbing, all of us are joining the campaign together and we are climbing it together, the Mogo Hill. Yeah.
The Mogo Hill. If you want to see the autistic boy climbing the Mogo Hill, please come. And trust me, with a bike, come and see what, if you accept that the Creator, the God has given you a child, don't let that child be a curse on the society, neither your home, but let it be a blessing, your home and the society as a whole. Say, young Phil, the autistic boy, who is riding from Adenta with a team called Eagle Riders. What are we expecting?
Okay, so we are expecting something that will go down well with parents, that will go down well with family or people who have special children. What we want to tell the general public that special children are gifts from God. And special children, meaning that these are special gifts that God has given to you. So if you're a parent, if you're a family, If you're a couple and you have such a child, you need to know that these are special gifts that God has given to you, and therefore you need to take good care of such children. They come into our lives, they come into the family's life to come and give you a special blessing because they are special. So we are expecting that young Phil and his team will visit Shai Hills and will be able to communicate to the entire nation that children with special needs are also special gifts from God, and it should not bring about divorce, it should not bring about misunderstanding, it should not bring about couple. We should see them that these are special gifts that God has given to us, and we hope that at the end of this trip, at the end of the biking, we will be able to communicate very well with the nation that these are children that we need to take good care of them.
Thank you. Say something. He said that these children will not allow couples to break up. They are a blessing from God. Accept it and know that that child can also be a blessing to you. Say, what are you telling children like that people know that there's no hope for them? Even others have regular children, and then they don't count the special ones among the children they have. What are you telling them?
So we are telling every family, every couple which have these children that these people or these children are special, as we've already said, and we need to take good care of them because they also have the ability to grow up to become somebody, as we put it. They also have the ability to become people like any other children. So we are saying that couples and families should give them special attention and give them special needs, and they will become some people in future.
Thank you. When we define autism is not a mental illness, but a biological and sensory processing disorder. Autism is a spectrum. Autism is a developmental. Your child can be recovered. The immediate acceptance is the key to recover your own child. Please, there is hope. For Liztino, what we say, with hope, together we will smile. Say, here, apart from the hills and this thing, what else is Phil going to the museum? What else that when Phil come here, it will be a history that a child like that has also been here?
Okay, so when Phil comes here, he will have the opportunity to, apart from visiting the animal farm and visiting the museum, also drive through the reserve to have a view of animals like duikers, have a view of animals like the baboons. And at the end of the day, we will want Phil to leave a mark here for people who visit the park and say that, yes, a day such a child of a special need visited the park, and this is what was going on. Mostly, the more reason why we are happy about this whole program is that when you look at the socio-demographic factors of our visitors here, most of them that come are parents, are family with children. So we want Phil to come here, leave a mark so that any family that comes here will see that, yes, one day there was this boy who is speaking a lot, who is communicating about autism to the people, and he visited Shai Hills Resource Reserve. So we are glad that we'll be receiving Phil and his group in Shai Hills. At least whatever they do here, whatever mass that is here, will also communicate to our visitors and clients who visit the place.
Thank you so much. All cyclists in Ghana, the white people who are here, please take opportunity and come and see what the nature is all about. It's going to be a fun. And trust me, if you don't have the energy, I bet you. Please say, from here, you take us to the board. We want to know a little about.
Okay. Thank you. So we'll move to the information board, and then we will tell you a lot of things that we have in here, which gives the one that we've mentioned, but what is on the board is going to give us a detail of what we have in here.
Thank you. So let's go. We just want to know your friend, your young brother, everything. You want to know a little more about, and the society, because this thing is going online everywhere. Those home here and those outside. They want to know a little more. So please, can I know your full name?
My name is Portia Go, and I'm the PR officer here at Shai Hills Resource Reserve. So, like my boss mentioned earlier, the Shai Hills Resource Reserve is one of the protected areas managed by the Wildlife Division of the Forestry Commission. So, when you come into the park, what we expect is that at the end of the day, our visitors would have a feel and enjoy nature. So, when you come into the park, what do we have in the park? Discovering nature. You get to see the zebras and then the ostriches here. The zebras and the ostriches are not so far from the reception, and they are in a sort of confined area because this is not their natural habitats. They brought them from somewhere, so they are in the confined area. We also have the Museum of Natural and Cultural History of Shai. What do we have at the museum? At the museum, we are trying to depict artifacts and wildlife of animals in the park and other animals at different parks. So when you get to the museum, you get to see some skins of some wildlife animals we have in the park and others we don't have in the park as well. You get to see some artifacts of the people of Shai who trace their ancestry from this park. Aside that, when you get to go to the field, you get to see some of the animals we have in the field. For our primate species, we have the baboons, and then the green monkeys, and then the spot-nosed monkeys. But the most dominant amongst our primate species are the baboons that you get to see every day. We have different kinds of antelopes as well. The most dominant amongst them is the corpse. You get to see them, you get to see the different kinds of dikers that we have. So aside the animals that we have places we call the historical sites or ancestral homes. It is believed that before this place became a reserve, it used to be the home of the people of Shai. And these are people that went to settle in communities around the park. So each site or each cave has an ancestry. They have people who trace their ancestry from them. Some of these sites, they have people that come to celebrate their annual festival in the park yearly. The park gives them an opportunity to come inside and then celebrate their annual festival. So you have a place like the Ajuku Hill. The Ajuku Hill.
Ajuku Hill.
Yes.
Okay.
Ajuku Hill is the ancestral home of the Shais in Agomeda.
Okay.
The people who once lived in Ajuku Hill, they went to settle in Agomeda when they were sacked or expelled from the park. It used to be a hiding place from the ancient people of Shai before the European colonization. There's a dam at Ajuku Hill. When it used to be a hiding place, it also used to be a place where the people try to stay to defend themselves from people that come into the place to attack them. Ajuku Hill has an interesting history. It has a rich history. One of the interesting things is how you get to climb. If you're a lover of adventure, it's one of the places you'd love to visit when you come into the park. When you get to the Sayu Cave,
Sayu Cave.
Yes, the Sayu Cave. The people who settled in Syria Cave are people who are now living in Kodiabe. They trace their ancestry from the Syria Cave. And Kodiabe is one of the communities around the park. When you go to the Syria Cave is said to be one of the homes of the chief of Shai. He had his palace and his courtroom there. And then some of these things are remained intact when you go to the Sayu Cave. A typical example of them is a stone that has been carved, which is believed to be the seat of the chief who was once living in the Sayu Cave. And then the cave has 3 chambers. The first chamber, the second chamber, and then the third chamber. The third chamber is a chamber that has been invaded by bats. The second chamber is the chamber where the chief used as his palace, and then the courtroom. The first chamber, they said that the ancient chief was once sleeping in that particular chamber. So Syria Cave also has a different kinds of history about the people that were living there. One unique thing about the sites and then the hills that we have here is that each of these places has its own history about the people that were living there. If you look at these places and then how they were expelled and the present-day communities that they live in, you realize that they live in different communities. We have Agomeda, we have Kodiabe, we have Manya Jopanya, and we have Doyu. So these are 4 communities. Okay. So you could see that each of them trace their ancestry from the park. When you go to a place like Manyayu.
Manyayu.
Yes.
Manyayu.
Manyayu.
Okay.
When you go to Manyayo, you get to see the largest ruins that were left by the Shai civilization, the broken pottery. Manyayo is also said to be a place where they had a maternity home or something sort of. Yes. So if anybody wanted to give birth, there's a place in Manyayo, people say that it is a maternity home. That is what history is telling us. It is a maternity home. So you get to, they had a cave where there's the palace, and then there's the court, and then there's a war shrine in Manyayo. Again, each of these cultural sites has their own unique history about the people that we're living in. So you see that for the 3 sites that I've talked about 3 different things about the people that were living there. So that's also the bit about Manyayo. And for people who trace their ancestry from Manyayo, they come into the park every year to celebrate their annual festival. We call the Mayim Festival. So they come in the park every year between September and October to celebrate, pay homage to their gods, and then celebrate their annual Mayim Festival. So that's also the bit about the Manyayo. And then you come to the Mogo Hill. The Mogo Hill is said to be the home of the baboons, the green monkeys, and then the birds. Mogo Hill also has its unique history, and then it offers a terrific vintage point. When you are at the Mogo Hill, it gives you an interesting landscape of the park. Mogo Hill also has the history that in the olden days, when the girls were being trained from their puberty rites into adulthood, they took them to the Mogo Hill to do a bit of training. But now, because of civilization, they don't do those trainings for a long time. Even in the town, they don't do those trainings for a long time now. So that's also the history about the Mogo Hill. And then Hiroyu is or was the ancestral home of the Shais, who have now moved to Doyum, one of the towns in the park. The Hiroyu is one of the highest hills in the reserve. And it says that it rises above 290 meters above sea level. At the summit, 90 meters above sea level. When you go to the top of the Mughal Hill, it gives you a very nice panoramic view of the park. That is where you get to see a larger part of the park. The Hiroyo is also known to be the drum cave. In the olden days, it says that a lot of people that were living here were engaged in a lot of wars. So they used to keep their drum war sort of at the Hiroyo. So that because it is the highest point, when their men are, they are able to, they just beat, and then they see them, and then they prepare for the war. So these are the stories about the sites that we have here. The park also has different kinds of accommodation facilities where tourists who would want to enjoy nature in the wild, like stay overnight, be able to experience nightlife in the wild. They have an opportunity to stay in because the park also has accommodation facilities. So basically, this is what Shai Hills has.
Oh, I see. In fact, I know more about Shai Hills now. What about you? What do you know? And riders, please, if you don't know, don't worry. Take this opportunity. The world, those who are outside, when you come, please try as much as possible. Visit Shai Hills and know your history. Charlie, you may come from there. You don't know. So please, Auntie, you know about autism and young Phil?
Yes, I
do. Good. Please, the world is looking at you. The world is looking at you. Ghana is looking at you. Autism Day is just around the corner. What are you telling the world?
I am telling the world that children with autism or children who have special needs are not children we should abandon. I think the first time I met you, I told you that I have a sister who is autistic, and I see how there's a bit of difficulty in raising such children. If anybody tells you that they don't have any difficulty in raising special children, then they tell you a lie. But one thing is that for every child that is born to you, the child has a purpose. You might not know what purpose that child has. So whatever way or whatever form that child comes into being for you, it is your duty as a parent or as a mother, or it is our duty as a society to protect those children, and do not let them shun away from people and then the world at large. So what I have to tell to anybody that's listening to us is that any child with a special need is a human just like that. Just that they need a little bit of care, or they need more attention to be able to take care of them. So if anybody finds themselves with a child that has special need, what I want to tell the person is that they shouldn't abandon them. They should treat them and protect them as their own. So that's what I'll say.
Thank you so much.
We are saying that this is a special day for special children. Everybody, the general public, families which have special children with special needs, or those who know, everybody should come on board and we celebrate this day and create the needed awareness, so that at the end of the day we all understand that these are children that have special needs and they are created by God. And when we take good care of them, they will also become somebody, or they will also become like other children that we want them to be. So we are saying that come on board, let's welcome young Phil and his team to Shai Hills Resource Reserve, and we hope that the day will be a special day for all of us.
Thank you so much. Liztino Center for Children with Special Needs and GTV Sports Plus. We say thank you to everybody. Meet me there with my bike. Here, I can use the mountain bike. And those who use the road bike, let's see. It's going to be fun. Thank you so much. Catch you there.